Welcome to the third RB25 show, where, a lot of stuff's going on this week. So let's jump right into it. First off, I'm going to talk about this week's lock of the week, which has paid off for a lot of people. BA successfully bet with the lock of the week. Now he's doing great in life. He's making some money. Other people bet on the lock of the week. Sid, Danny and Bill Recca. Everyone's doing good from the lock of the week. It's 2 for 2. But hold on, folks. It's coming. It's probably at the end of during college football picks. And we're going to have 2 locks of the week. One for the NFL, one for the NFL. Because, well, why should there just be 1 lock of the week? Why not have 2? Make more money for the people. So last week's of the lock of the week was the over on Oregon State versus San Jose State. Now, it was a nail biter. It came down to the last possible second, the last play. The San Jose State put that touchdown in and helped out the people. And we want to give San Jose State our first MVP award for helping out everyone in the Miniverse make some flipping money. And who doesn't like that? Who doesn't like money? Go out and buy a steak dinner, go out and have a good time. That's what it's all about, folks. Now, what else happened with the lock of the week? What else happened besides the lock of the week? Well, unfortunately, folks, when it comes to MVPs, it also comes to dope of the day. And we got 2 dope of the days to start off our evening. Not just 1, folks, 2. Because when people act like dope of the days, they deserve to be, spoken about. Delta Airlines. As you've heard by now, very unfortunately for Delta Airlines, they had a flight out of Atlanta. Supposed to go to Barcelona, Spain. And then, I don't know what the fuck happened. Someone went to the bathroom at Delta Airlines, and unfortunately, they blew up the freaking bathroom, and they had diarrhea and sewage, and it was running down the aisles. Now, number 1, why didn't Delta Airlines have a nice functioning toilet like all the other airlines in America and all the planes? And number 2, how the hell did this plane get up in the flipping air? And pass a security maintenance check? It's absolutely ridiculous. Where are the maintenance people? And how do they still have jobs? Why is Delta Airlines sending up ships that don't have a working bathroom? You got like 200 people up there. You need to freaking figure it out. Robbie V is very disappointed in Delta Airlines. And they're our first dope of the day. Good riddance. Our second dope of the day is Air Canada. Air Canada, they didn't really do much better than Delta Airlines. There was 2 passengers flying on the flight, on an Air Canada flight. And they got to their seats, and they saw their seats were smeared with throw up and vomit. First off, the cleaning job of that is awful. I don't know what is going on with Air Canada's cleaning crew. Obviously, they maybe had a few pops, had a few cocktails. Maybe they're blind. I have no idea. But then the flight attendants just told the people to sit down. It was all good. Yeah, because I really want, after paying $300 to fly somewhere, I really want to sit down and vomit. It's just bullshit. And then when the people complained, like rightfully so, like any other normal human being would, they kicked them off the flight. This dope of the day behavior is unacceptable. Where's Justin Trudeau when you need him? Not that we need him, but I'm just saying. It's awful. And Rob V is appalled. All right. We're going to get to our letters from the viewers of the show. All right. The first letter is from Herman in Kingston, Rhode Island. Dear Robbie V, I live in Kingston, Rhode Island. I'm hearing a lot about Hurricane Lee. What are your thoughts on this? My thoughts are this. Hurricane Lee is literally about 10 days away, and it'll probably be about at least 9 days away when this airs, of even striking the New England or the tri-state area, even being in range. We are in the first inning of Hurricane Lee, and there will be probably hundreds of model runs. There is a situation, and yes, it could hit. If the high-pressure system captures Hurricane Lee and brings it northwest, and the trough coming in from the east allows this, then yes, we could be in a world of trouble. But we're in the first inning, folks, and we need to get to the fifth inning, or about 5 days before the hurricane actually strikes, before we, start passing out, Bush League nonsense about, the day after tomorrow is coming to New England and, the tri-state area, or God forbid, poor Florida or Georgia. There's many chapters to be written. But Herman, I'll be keeping you informed. Next letter. Dear Robbie V, it's Mark from Air, Massachusetts. The boys and I were down and out after a bad college football Sunday. We blew our money on bad gambling picks. Then we stumbled across this show. We took the lock of the week. We won. And for one night in the air, we lived like kings, thanks to the lock of the week. We'd like to thank you. Well, thank you. Thank you, Margaret from Air. I appreciate it. Rob V is a man of the people. And I'm always trying to look and give good locks of the week and good picks. Next topic. College football thoughts on week 1. You'd be living under a rock if you didn't hear about Colorado this week. They did great. TCU does not have a defense. They could not stop me from running all over them. Deion Sanders coached a good game. Shakira Sanders, the quarterback, I believe that's his name. Well, we'll do a fact check later. He played great. We'll get to how I feel about their matchup against Nebraska this week later on in the show. But Colorado, they're moving in the right direction, and unfortunately, betting against them this year is you could lose a lot of money. So be wise. BC locally, BC's loss. They didn't play well, and that's really it. I don't know if it's going to doom Jeff Hafley, but they definitely probably lost a lot of recruits, and not lost a lot of recruits, but a lot of recruits are going to start looking at other places. Obviously, BC really needs to play better. They play Holy Cross this week, which if they don't win, Hafley should be fired. Say that on the record. Then they play FSU after that. Which, speaking of FSU, what a performance against LSU. They absolutely dominated them. I really didn't see that coming. Quarterback for FSU has played a great game. They're definitely first in the ACC. And finally, I think one of the major storylines was the Clemson loss. Cost some people some money, myself included. Are they for not for real? But how do they come back from this? Is this the Clemson we're going to see in the future, or does this galvanize them and they start breaking teams over the kneecap? I think their quarterback event is. I think they'll play better. I think it's a bunch of fluke. It's basically a bunch of fluke things that happen. 2 fumbles inside the 5. For God's sakes. Also, Clemson can run the ball. You need to be able to do that. And once they get their offensive passing game, going, I think they'll be okay. I don't know about winning the national championship, but I think Riley, the offense coordinator for Clemson, who's a former offense coordinator for TCU, I think he'll right the ship. And Lord knows they're going to smoke BC like 55-2. So 55-0. I don't think BC is getting a safety, but that's here nor there. So we're going to go now to my college football picks. Colorado versus Nebraska. Currently, the line is -2.5. Now, I just want to put this out there. You don't have to take it at -2.5. I know my audience is smart enough to realize you can do alternate spreads or whatever. So if you don't want to take it at 2.5, go to -1.5. Go 1.5 to Colorado. Do what you need to do. I'm not telling you anything what to do, to be honest with you. This is going to be a huge game. Look, the amount of press that Colorado has gotten is insane. Folsom Field is going to be rocking. They're going to probably start tailgating at like 2 in the morning on Saturday morning. For all I know. I think Colorado takes it. Look, they have a great offense. They do all the things you need to do against TCU. I understand their defense gave up, I think, in the 40s, 42 points or whatnot. I think some of those mistakes can easily, probably can be correctable. I don't think Nebraska has like a juggernaut offense. I realize they do have a decent QB and they play good defense. They played good defense against Minnesota. But look, they made a lot of costly mistakes. I think the momentum of just being at Folsom, everyone's going to be so jazzed up and out of their damn minds. They're going to be ready to play. I think it might be a touchdown. It might be 2. Or Colorado just might get rolling and just blow Nebraska out. But all in all, I think they're going to lose and Colorado's going to win. I think the one thing that will be interesting to see is how Nebraska comes out for this game. They did suffer a heartbreaker against Minnesota, and I kind of wonder if they really will be up for this game. And on the flip side, you have to worry about, hey, is there going to be a letdown from Colorado? But I think the danger is more to be a letdown from Nebraska than from Colorado, because once you hit the tunnel of the fans, it'll all work out. Next pick is Notre Dame and North Carolina State. Take Notre Dame. North Carolina State. Look, they played not Colorado. They played Connecticut last week. They only won by 10. They're not the best team. They didn't struggle moving the ball, but I mean, putting 24 on the UConn defense isn't exactly something to be happy about. They could have put more. They also gave up a lot of big runs to UConn, and whose quarterback was like making one of his first starts. And they literally had a sophomore running back, Victor Rosa, who BC tried to recruit, but he wasn't a take. But I mean, Rosa in that game went against NC State, went for a 7-yard scamper. So I don't think NC State's going to be up to the task. Notre Dame put away. They had a really good performance against Navy. I realize it is Navy, but they do run the fucking ball pretty well. And their quarterback from the kid out of Wake, Hartman, he should have a good day. That offensive line can block, and he'll have time to pick NC State apart. I'm not going to sit here and say it's a blowout. You might want to just go down to the alternative spread of 6.5 to get rid of the hook, or 2.5, for a field goal, whatever you want to do. But at the end of the day, Notre Dame's going to win this game, and it's not really going to be. Hopefully you won't sweat it out. Hopefully you'll make some money. All right. Now, we're going to go to the lock of the week for college football. So get your pad and pencil, or pencil and pad. What the fuck do you want to do? Oregon versus Texas Tech. Oregon right now, as of this recording, is -7 points. It's the lock of the week. Look, the Texas Tech defense was awful. They could not stop the Wyoming quarterback. They couldn't stop the run. They couldn't fucking run the ball. The defense couldn't stop Wyoming. I don't think Oregon's a good team. Bo Nix is basically the same type of quarterback that Texas Tech last week failed to stop. He could run, he could pass, he could do it all. Look, even though like Oregon's on the road, and I completely get it, Texas Tech is too one-dimensional. They can't run the ball to save my life. They can't run the ball down the street to fucking Privetti's. Never mind run the ball on a national college football field. I think it's a good spot for you to take Oregon. They got a good team, and I think they're going to be ready to go. And again, if you're gonna talk semantics, Texas Tech is not going to be happy. Is not going to be up for this game after losing to friggin' Wyoming. Yeah, you could argue, they were looking ahead, but Oregon's going to be ready. They played Portland State. They put them away. They took care of business, showed some maturity as a team. Oregon's the lock of the week, -7. Take it down, and let's make it another win for the people. All right. Let's talk about the second. Well, actually, the third dope of the day. I mean, I kind of lost track of how many dope of the days were there. So that's all right, though. You got to do what you got to do. There was an idiot robber out in Los Angeles County. He tried to rob a jewelry store, which, with a hammer, do the whole smash and grab thing. I mean, that's just, I don't know. Do what you got to do, I guess. I'm not really, I don't endorse robbing people. It's not usually a good idea. Or stores, for that matter. So anyway, he tried to rob a store, and then he ended up getting his fucking, head and dick kicked in by 3 people. Basically, they beat him with a pole, ripped off his clothes. He took a couple mean shots, ran down the street like a fucking jamoke. He didn't make out with any jewelry. He didn't even make out with his shirt, never mind jewelry. This guy, and it was caught on camera. He hasn't been apprehended yet, but it's not hard to find, some moron who can't rob a jewelry store, who's pretty obese and, probably has a couple black eyes. And that's dope of the day for you. I hope that man gets it together, get his life together. Maybe he goes, graduates high school, graduates college. Maybe he has graduated college. Maybe he puts that college degree to use. It's just a joke, and it's unacceptable. And I wish him well. In jail, hopefully. All right. The NFL. Am I on schedule? Oh, nice. I'm on schedule. Thumbs up. Anyway, NFL today. Obviously, what's the big news? Travis Kelce, huge. I mean, big injury today. Yeah, they lucked out. The Chiefs lucked out with his ACL, not being torn, and it's fully intact according to the press. Whatever. How's this? I mean, this is going to affect the Chiefs a lot. Kelce is the cog that makes the Chiefs' offense run. I mean, Vince Scanling, or whatever the fuck his name is, Kadarius Toney, and others are not going to. I mean, they're gonna have to obviously pick up the slack. I feel bad for all the Travis Kelce fantasy owners who had a rough time, having a rough day because he's probably not going to play tomorrow. According to the press. I also think that there's big implications for fantasy, especially if he is out for longer than a couple of weeks. He's a huge pick for a lot of people. But what are you going to do? All right, so we had the Minifan League draft. It was a great draft, very spirited. Some people took longer than others for picks. I'm projected to finish 5th in the league. Do I agree with that projection? Absolutely not. My team hopefully will be number 1. I'm actually projected to, lose my matchup this week. I mean, what the fuck? This is fucking bullshit. I mean, what does ESPN know? God damn. Show some love to Robbie V. It's fucking bullshit. We did have one incident in the draft. I mean, Tony from the 420 show, started drafting. Then he left the draft. And then he came back on the 420 show and the draft. I don't know. It was interesting. Usually if I'm in a fantasy draft, I stay the whole time. And that's a good tip for the day. If you're in a fantasy football draft, stay the whole time. You're going to draft good players, and you're not going to auto-pick anything. So, what are the NFL picks this week? And where are we going? The first one, Philly. It pains me to say this. I think Philly -4 against the Pats is pretty fucking good bet. Patriots' offensive line's a mess. The lack of weapons in the offensive system for the Pats is pretty apparent. Juju Schuster and Kendrick Bourne, well, they might be solid players. I think we need a bigger caliber wide receiver. I know some people are saying, well, we have Ezekiel Elliott. That's fine and dandy. But I think he's kind of a little bit of he's more of a complimentary back than a stud, and that's what they got him for, and that's fine. But I think the Pats will come out. They might score an early touchdown just on the wave of Brady's retirement, which is fine. But I think overall, I think Hurts and co. And I think the defensive line is going to wreak havoc with Mac Jones' offense all day. And I think A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith are going to do their thing. And while I don't see this game going 49-0, I think the Eagles are going to put this well in hand pretty quick. Not quickly, but by the end of third, fourth quarter. So Eagles -4. As much as it pains me to say it, but it's life. What are you going to do? You want a friend in betting business? Go get a dog. I don't know. Zay Flowers, anytime TD, +220. Look, they're playing Houston. The Ravens are playing Houston. The line's 10. I don't really see the value in, I think the Ravens are going to win the game, but I don't really see any value in maybe alternate spreading it to 6 or 6.5 or 7.5 or even 5.5 just for peace of mind. I think there's better stuff to do with your dollar. Zay, I think Zay is going to line up. I think he's going to do his thing. The guy's a freaking beast. I'm saying it all. And I think this might be the day where, facing the Texans star cornerback, I think he might just, take it to the house. He's a good dude. Did a lot for BC. I'm very excited to see what he's going to do for Lamar. He was a very good quarterback in his own right. I mean, if you really wanted to add it, this wasn't going to be a pick, but if you really wanted to add a pick, probably do Ravens, -6.5, -5.5 if you want to do an alternate spread, and whatever Zay's yardage is on the over, because I really think he's going to do well. And I think the Ravens are going to do well during this game. So it's what are you going to do? It's life. And the Texans are going to have to. They're going to have a lot to figure out. The lock of the week. We'll get to that. The second pick, it's an easy one, but it goes to the fucking same. You're here to make money, not lose it. Redskins -7. Look, Arizona's a mess. Hopkins is gone. Kyler isn't starting. They don't have a fucking clue who is starting for the Arizona Cardinals. They're starting quarterbacks on some milk carton somewhere. I don't know what his problem is. The Redskins, look, Snyder isn't the team owner. The fans are buzzing. Team's rock solid. They got a good, good QB. Eric Bieniemy is a great offensive coordinator. He's working with them all season. Defense is solid. The Skins are going to take it down, and they should lead. And now we're going to head into what the people want, The people want to know who the lock of the week is. Now, the lock of the week for the NFL is the Jags, -5. If you want them alternate, spread it down to 3. Peace of mind. Look, the Colts are young. They have a fucking rookie quarterback. I like Anthony Richardson. He's got, no weapons. He's got lots of inexperience on the Colts team. I mean, what could go wrong for the Colts? They're definitely going to blow out the Jags by 55. I think the Jags, this is their year. It's serene for the running backs ready to roll. They got Calvin Ridley, Kirk. They got Evan Ingram for tight end. Defense is solid. This is a great spot for them. Jags are going to win this. The Colts, they're going to have a bad start to the season. And this is the first NFL lock of the week that's going to hit. You heard it from RBV. It's going to hit. So that's my second lock of the week pick. I hope it hits for the people. Oh, no, 2 minutes behind. Shit. All right. We're going to go with, we're going to go with the MVPs. Jimmy Buffett, I think, is the MVP. Hey, look, whether you love him, hate Parrot Heads, love Parrot Heads, he had a great, he made his mark on music. He amassed a great following and did a lot of good. And I think that stuff, Margaritaville's, good tune. Always a big fan of Come Monday. I never actually went to one of his shows. I know some Minute fans went to a bunch, upwards of 30. So I just think, he's a good guy. It's a real tragedy that he passed away. And you know what? Hey, I mean, who all love? I mean, everyone can love Jimmy Buffett for a couple seconds, and everyone's wasted away at Margaritaville once or twice in their life, or 10. And Jimmy Buffett's a good guy. Thumbs up. He's this week's MVP. I gladly stand behind that. Gladly. What the fuck? All right. Walks of the week and preview to come. All right. Well, first, we're going to talk about yesterday, Joe Biden. I don't want this to get political, but I think it was a wonk of the week move to leave the Medal of Honor ceremony early. Those people all have done incredible things, and to leave before the prayer at the end of it, it just I think it's a wonk of a week move. I know there was the excuse this morning that came up from KJP that he that was the plan all along. I call bullshit on that, and yeah, that's it. So he's wonk of the week, Joe Biden. Be better. The second wonk of the week is Andy Reid. I mean, Kansas City Chiefs coach. What the fuck were you thinking putting out freaking Travis Kelce at a practice on a Tuesday before a Thursday night game? This guy is a Hall of Famer. What does he need to practice? The only thing he needs to practice is maybe catching a football on the bench seated, so he doesn't get injured while the defense is on the field. What else does he have left to prove? Why would you put your star tight end in that situation? It's just bullshit. And it's not like, KC. This isn't the KC at all, where they can just look at Tyreek Hill. I mean, this is going to have a big effect on the team's offense. And Andy Reid, negotiate with Chris Jones. I mean, I think it was Joey Bosa today, or San Francisco Joey Bosa today, or Chris Bosa. I don't know. I don't know which. I always get their names mixed up. Anyway, the Bosa in San Francisco signed a big deal today. It's like $170 million. Sign Chris Jones. And this is a Patriots fan talking. You need defense in this league, Andy. Be better. Be better for wonk of the week. And I'll actually learn the Bosa brothers' names hopefully by next week. Thumbs up. All right. Other wonks of the week, we actually have 11,000 wonks of the week. These wonks of the week were the 11,000 weeks who cut the course in the Mexico City Marathon. Now, look, if you're going to run a marathon, why are you going to fucking cut the course? What's the point? Do you really think and what kills me about this is they were using, cabs and public transportation to do this. So it's like you spent all this time, or maybe you didn't spend a lot of time trying to freaking, get to the finish line, and instead you're just cutting the course, cheating in the Mexico Marathon. And apparently, cheating in the Mexico City Marathon is a wide event. One year they had 6,000 people do it. So good for Mexico City for making 11,000 people cheat. Really doing well. Mexico City, be better. Marathon runners. Practice fair play. It's the good way to go, according to Robbie V and others. All right. Our last wonk of the week was Riley Leonard, Duke quarterback. It's a tragic case, folks, of an MVP turned wonk of the week. He beat Clemson. Which a lot of people, including myself, didn't see coming. It was a good MVP performance. So if you're on on a victory lap or the biggest win of your life, it's probably not a good idea to shout out your professor and ask him for an extension on his homework. I mean, where's the time management skills here, folks? This kid went to Duke. He's no dummy. So do your homework before the game. It ain't hard. I mean, time management. This kid needs Riley Leonard. You could have been an MVP. Instead, you're a wonk of the week, and you're taking an MVP performance and flushing it down the drain. All right, folks. That's it for this week. Again, the locks of the week. They better hit, because I'm here for the people. This is Robbie V in the RB25 show, signing off. Good night.
Yeah.